Grove, C26, East London Retail. I'm going to speak on Proposition 69 about home delivery drivers. I work for Sainsbury's. We've got an online department, and their drivers have been told not to enter the person's premises because you're not covered by the company insurance. I urge Tesco's.com drivers to have a look into it because I've got a funny feeling you're not covered either. So I support this proposition. Thank you.
Conference, I'm yet another Virgin speaker, so bear with me. I'm actually a Tesco.com driver. Every day we come across all sorts of hazards. We have to get through gardens that have got swimming, paddling pools, climbing frames, bikes, fences lying around, tools, garden equipment, everything. You get past that, you then get to the door. They open the door and then you've got exactly the same inside with children, dogs, cats, climbing frames, you name it, they're in there. You've also got the fact that people can get, which this highlights, accused of taking things that are in the house. This really needs to stop having drivers going into these houses because it's not fair on the drivers at all. We do get in compromising positions, as the guy said earlier. We also have female drivers that are going into houses with just men in the houses, which again isn't right at all. The other chap was telling us about someone that got held hostage is a drug den. We actually had a lady driver held hostage because the customer didn't get the knackers she wanted. And she was actually held in the house for 4 hours. So I think this has actually got to stop. We need to carry on delivering to the door. We will also help the elderly, disabled, anybody like that. But actually going into the premises really does need to stop. So I'd ask you to support this proposition. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, conference. My name is Duncan Waldock from C8, Thames North West Resale. I work in the capacity as a delivery driver as well. I'm with Sainsbury's. I'm happy to help the elderly and infirm, and I remember back to the debate on Proposition 51, Meals on Wheels, and remember fondly, the things I can do to help. You deliver to some batty old dear who probably won't put a frozen food away and it will fall out, that kind of thing, so you can help. But I fully support the proposition because I've been in situations where you've got to do a very physical job whilst weaving past furniture, avoiding toys on the floor which are like marbles and very sharp, and doing that to demanding timescales as well. In fact, sometimes even getting to the door of an individual dwelling is a huge challenge and fraught with hazards, on which we drivers do apparently a dynamic risk assessment, but that's really code for the company not doing a risk assessment, frankly. Now, I quite agree that bulky items need to be delivered inside premises, and I'm pleased that the mover from Croydon Met has arrived at the answer which covers that case. Similarly, some workers will need to work on custom private premises and probably unaccompanied, for instance, servicing a washing machine or reading a domestic energy meter. But this is less of a routine occurrence for the customer than receiving an order of fast-moving consumer goods. Thank you for your support.
Mr. President, conference, visitors, good afternoon. I'd like to speak in support of number 69, which seems to be popular. Until a few weeks ago, I was a parcel net driver, but due to company rebranding, I'm now a Hermes carrier. notwithstanding the unfortunate name change, company policy stayed the same. And that policy is that the driver's responsibility ends at the front door. Now, on many occasions we will have bulky items to deliver or heavy items, and I'm quite happy to deliver them into most of the customers' houses. However, in a situation where perhaps the front door opens and I'm greeted with a foul stench, or even worse, you've got a middle-aged Shrek who answers the door naked, understandably, I might not be quite so keen. Company policy tells me I can deposit it on the door and depart at a rate of knots. I have a choice. I think also the Tesco.com people should as well. I please support the motion.
Hiya. I, again, like everybody else, I'm here to support Proposition 69. I don't drive, I don't offer deliveries for our service, but working in healthcare, we deliver to a lot of very, very vulnerable and incapacitated people. They can't always get to the door, so our contracts that we get them to sign do sometimes say that we deliver in to these patients' homes because they can't get to the door. If they're bedridden or in a wheelchair, they can't let us in. We have to have the codes to give us access to these patients' homes. I know it's not good, and I know that we should just drop things at the door and walk away, job done, but sometimes that's not always possible because we want to give the best service possible to our people. But on the same count, we've also got to look after our own safety. We've had a lot of drivers been held at gunpoint, at knife point, threatened. We've had complaints come in that drivers have done this, that and the other, and I'm sure every person that's driven for a living has been accused of something by a customer at some point. So yes, we need all the protection we can get, and I fully support this motion, but we've got to have exemptions for those people that are extra vulnerable and need that additional point of care right at the door and inside. Thank you.
Sharon Davis, K200, batty old deer and possible middle-aged Shrek. But not naked, no. Conference, Mr. President, I was going to speak in support of the home delivery drivers, but I might just change my mind now. I work for JD Williams, which is we home delivery network, and some of our customers do complain about the drivers. One of them said that they'd killed the dog, and what they'd done, they'd had a delivery of a CD player and the customer wasn't in, so he chucked it over the wall and it fell on the dog and killed him. And that is a true story, I can assure you that. Some of the stories I could have told you over a pint because they're not clean enough to tell up here. I do understand with the home delivery drivers, but we're not all middle-aged Shreks naked, and we're not all batty old dears, Meals on Wheels young man. Okay? Some of us have still got a bit of life left in us. Isn't that right, Jeff? I do support this motion. Thank you.